Alright, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
SSSS
Gridman, episode 6.
And yesterday we had the... we got some curveballs thrown our way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a
jostle.
Yeah. It was a bit fan servicey.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a simple episode.
Mhm.
There wasn't a lot really going for it, even though Akane has a lot going for her. She now has the advantage slightly because she's pretty certain now that Yuta is Gridman. In fact, she's definitely certain.
Now, there were some things that were kind of mysterious that they went into in the previous episode, though. We had the whole stuff with Yuta starting to remember some things, which seems to have some connection to Akane because of the whole stars or sparkles in the sky or whatever. And then also the episode ended with some like low gravity things moving away with the scarf getting blown away. But yeah,
we discussed that. I don't think that's. I think that's done in a non-linear kind of way. We'll see. We'll see. But y'all, it's the next episode, and it's kind of the halfway point of the show. So yeah, y'all. Without further ado, let's get into it. Oh look. Yep. Yep. That's a good. Yeah, that's a good supposition to make. What is this epic music in the background? Oh, that transition of the face when she turned to the side, just like, I loved her like disappointment. Yeah, it was just so perfect. Hey, cool.
Don't throw something else at him.
Oh! Okay. Oh! Well, okay. Alright. It's going down.
Yeah.
Huh. Some kind of game show? Wait, what?
What does that have to do with it?
Yeah! It says that she's not listening.
Sure.
She's not listening, yeah. Ah, yeah, let's save on those, okay, there we go.
We have movement!
Houston, we have movement, yes! This is cool, though. We're showing what a day in her life after school looks like.
Yeah.
Oh. She's gonna give it to her as a gift.
Ah.
The pink. It's the same color as her hair.
Sure.
It's like a cute thing, just to...
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you mean? There's all these little filler things happening and stuff. Just to showcase where everyone is at. Oh. Oh, this is the other girl from the OP.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
Who this? Okay. Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh my god. What the heck? Oh,
like
he's a stray cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know the answer to that question. Like, what's a middle schooler? Oh, the smell. Yeah. Oh, she's so nice. Wow. He's like, stare. This is gonna be great. He'll be free of. The handsome one. Oh. Who is this goatee looking?
そこになかったらないっすね。
それなら安心だね。
Has no idea what he's doing.
いってらっしゃい。
Oh my gosh, the humor in this show is so random sometimes. I love it.
何読んでたの？
いや、その
宇宙船か。レッドキング。
He's like, wait, you know
やっ
this?
ぱレッドキングって三代目の造形いいよね。
新庄さん怪獣好きなの？
好きだよ。
Yeah.
女子なのに。
Hey, you don't have to say that. You
男
can
子
just
でも
be
怪
like,
獣が好きなのは珍しい方じゃない？
確かに。
He's like, I'm in love.
レッドキングってさ。
huh? It's bored. It's bored.
こういうやついたじゃん。意外な展開だ。
I
I
love
love
how
how they each have duties to follow each specific one and like
and it's almost like
care of
that's
them.
just because they have nothing better to do.
right.
学校。
なんか複雑な事情ある感じ。
What's with the green faded?
Yeah.
Oh, and now they're here.
Hmm.
悪い。
Yeah.
いいからいい
It's as if we're repeating.
ほら、私お金いっぱいあるから。
Oh.
He thinks he's hiding behind the tree. Yeah.
電車乗ろう。
電車？
この街外から見る。
いいけど。
Oh.
ないから。
Whoa. Whoa. From the outside of the yeah. Watch, we're gonna see what the outside of the
Yeah, like
the
I think this is
reality
where the
marble is going
bombshell's
to be.
about to
前田
drop.
俺初めて電車に乗ったんだ。大きい川が流れててさ。
そんなのないよ。こ
Whoa.
の街の外には何もないよ。眠くなったでしょ。街の外に出るとみんな眠くなる。
What?
What is going on? Oh, you were right, Jacob. You were right. You were right.
音楽にはね、目には見えないけど、音の精霊が隠れていてね。
音の精霊？
Oh, that's funny because Akane is constantly listening to music. Or is it? No, it's not Akane. It's Rika, I think.
心配だな。
大会とか作っちゃダメだよね。
Wow.
君がやばい。
This is amazing.
本当は主役じゃん。響くんってさ、どう思う？
何？いきなり。
Yeah.
何の話？
記憶喪失になってからなんか変わったよね。なんか隠してると思う。
なんかって？
だからそれを君に聞いてるの。
Directly.
Oh, so the gas is coming out of the
怪獣
kaiju.
が現れてると思う。
I don't know, but like.
さあ、一人ぼっちの人間の心から
Whoa.
Okay.
それが新庄茜。
Dang.
内海くん
Just name drop. There we go.
仲いいんでしょ
Yep.
怪獣を使って街を壊して街を直す。
And fix the city. It's like it's
This
a
is
Minecraft
hilarious,
game or
though.
something.
Yeah.
Is it because the gas makes them all just fall asleep, and then while they're asleep, it could
気
be
に入
a
らない部分を
massive
直
time
すため
skip?
だ
Who
よ。
knows?
Well, to
あの
fix
子
doesn't
にとって
necessarily
この
mean.
街は世界の全部。新庄茜はこの世界を作った
Wow. Yeah.
神様なんだから。
Oh boy.
彼女は歪みすぎているんだ。だからきっとその心を利用された。
Ah, gotcha.
とても危険な人。
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
宇宙人とか？
あ
確かにユータは変わったかもしんないけど、ユータであることは変わってないよ。
Wow, loyal friend.
ユータの関係。
Hmm.
Oh, the way she
Whoa.
bit the straw.
Yeah.
いいや、わかんない。
Oh, dang. Good. Boar heard all that.
怪
Okay.
獣ならなんで新庄さんの味方をしないの？
私は新庄茜から生まれたわけじゃない。
Okay, you're like,
私は元からここにいた怪獣だよ。
okay.
All
土
right.
時代が生まれるずっと前から。
俺のやるべきことまた少しだけ分かったような気がする。
Did he hear all that too?
私にできるこ
Think
とは
so.
これくらいだからお世話になったんだよ。君
Oh.
に
Okay.
ごめん、何も思い出せなくて。
The plot thickens.
Yeah.
会えてよかった。
Sujidai is the city.
Whoa.
Before this was born. Yeah.
普通の都立高通ってるんだろう。何？死ねー！
Jeez.
Why isn't Auntie going into his kaiju form?
Well, he doesn't have to. Oh, here we go.
Okay.
この声あの怪獣だ
Uh-huh.
よく考えろユウタを殺せばグリッドマンを倒せなくなるぞ
That's good logic, actually.
If they're different entities, then yeah.
Logic pathway doesn't make sense. Can't compute.
ユウタ
はいありがとうございます
Wow.
あいつ多分怪獣だ
念のためグリッドマンに報告しておこう
店が閉まるぞ
Like it's some kind of like, something terrible is about to happen.
Yeah. All right, we got the squad here. Everyone's.
And maybe let's share that information.
Yep. Convene.
グリッドマンは見つからなかった
Nice.
グリッドマンは見つからなかった
It's true.
It's accurate. Oh.
Whoa.
He's here.
やはり茜くんが心配だな
Okay.
I love this. It's escalation.
Oh,
it's
definitely.
It's escalation. It's complications. It's directly like establishing certain aspects of the conflict so that we don't have as many complications keeping it from happen, so that we can develop beyond that conflict into what is obviously the main antagonist,
Right,
you know?
Right. Huh. The fact that Akane, like, they actually came out and said that Akane made this world, essentially.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, but the people in it are real. Wow.
So Akane's
Answers.
the god of this world.
Yep.
Okay, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of that being done in storytelling. I have a strong positive association with that.
From a very specific anime.
Yeah, but this changes things because that was just a crazy theory, but now it's like, okay.
Yeah, so it is a reality marble of sorts.
Yeah.
It is a world that is localized, so there is nothing really outside it in terms of, you know, connectedness to this world. So what they have here is an environment where Akane is lonely.
Right.
And she created this environment, but she also desires to toy with it, basically.
Right.
Pun intended.
Which is crazy to think about because, okay, the idea that you could have someone that's god of a world, right? And they're unsatisfied, that raises some questions because that means that there's limitations to what the god can do.
Exactly. I
or
think it's
what they're
the
willing to do.
Right.
Because what it seems here is that Akane's bored, lonely, something. I don't know, but there's a whole ton of stuff that's going on there
inside her. Yeah.
Right. But if she's the god of this world, now is that something?
The world, not the characters.
Right. Not the characters.
Yeah.
Right. And that could even theoretically be possible. But if what she's after is connection, then that defeats the purpose. If they're all puppets, but. Now, we don't necessarily know if she was originally the god of this world, or if the entire... Because one of the things in the other show that I was talking about is Haruhi, and one of the things they get into in that is that you don't know if the world actually has existed previously. It could have just been created in an instant.
Well, we know that we know that there was an instant where it was created if we take this new character's... words as seriously, which I think we should take almost everything they're saying as true.
That is a great point. Yeah, because it's this world and not all of existence. Yep.
It's a localized environment. It is basically a video game that she created to have a playful. You know, she's the main character. She believes of her own little thing, and all of these NPCs are people that she maybe believes are maybe just a part of the world, but. No, they're real people.
But
what
blows me away here is that they're having the chief over Justice Lagan manipulating her,
Yes.
which I'm all for. But then that raises the question of where did her powers come from? Was she always like this? Did they awaken separately from Overjustice Lagan, or did the apparently supreme baddie, probably of this show, bestow them on her somehow because he wanted her to do something? And if so, what? Like, because if this is all just a world that's created, what value does it have to the big baddie, right? Negalagon. Like, how does that help? Because you could do theoretically just about anything within this localized world, but it doesn't have any ramifications for the outside world, or does it?
That's the thing. Again, the characters are real. That's the only way they can have this story be something that has that lasting thing. So it is real. The world is real.
No. I get that.
Right. But that's how the baddie has any value here, is that by him getting to project his power via these kaiju that she creates. I think that's where the fusion of the powers is that she created the world, she designed the kaiju, but Chief Overjustice Lagan, he's the one that's actually giving the power to send the kaiju into reality.
Okay. And then, but the thing is if the only thing that well, saying what's real and what's not is kind of tough, but the people are definitely real, right?
Yes.
And the people are essentially where the point of conflict is, because if Akane is the god of this world sans people, then the only reason there would be a struggle is if there was something that needed to happen that revolved around the people that her powers were limited by, right?
Which is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
For some reason, she wants to be close to Yuta, and she can't.
Right.
She's unable to.
What I'm wondering is that in line with Chief Overjustice Lagan's goals, or is it that he's using this as a way to try and manipulate Akane for some other nefarious ends? And if that's the case, what is it? Because
Gridman is an old enemy. I think it's very cheesy and simple. And that, and that Gridman is basically a key to maybe it's the access flash part. The thing that, because the Chief Overjustice Lagan does his own kind of, what is it called? Like
Yeah, it was some sort of mishmash of words or whatever.
Abreaction something.
Abreaction.
Yeah, something like that. He basically portals his energy, his kaiju, whatever, into the creations that Akane makes, her little toys, her models and stuff.
Right.
And then is able to basically have them be piloted by her in terms of their will, what they're supposed to do. Probably just because she's essentially, like, he's her patron if she's a warlock, you know?
Yeah, totally.
But the thing that he has to have is he has to have some desire in the actions that they're doing here having actual consequences, which means in the same way in that she is after Yuta, he is after Gridman, because it's the perfect parallel. They're going after
and
they
could totally have it be the thing of like Gridman defeated him in the past and now he's in some weakened form or whatever. I don't know how they could decide to do it. Yeah, but there's some past that happened there. But that doesn't explain how Akane became the god of this world.
Okay, so I have a theory about that. And I'm going to reference one of your favorite shows, Haruhi. So Haruhi, when she got distraught, she would create reality bubbles.
Sure.
She would create basically these pockets of space-time that would just stop everything. And then aberrations of her negative emotions would come up and she would
wreak havoc on that environment as a way to
vent out her negative emotions.
Sure.
What I think this is that human beings, because this is trigger, there has to be that beautiful potential of the human being to tap into the transcendent, the spiritual, the metaphysical, the whatever. Right. I think what it is that this is the story of a regular girl who was lonely, and we can even take the direct D&D analogy as well. Just really, really wanted to have friends, to be friends with this guy. Maybe she has a crush on him. Maybe she doesn't. Maybe she just wants to have things go back to the way things were, like the way the ED suggests between her and Rika. And her and Rika were friends, but now she feels like she can't be friends with Rika because maybe Yuta confessed to Rika, which was one of our original theories. And then she's just like, I want things to change. I want to have some effect on this. And this patron whispered through the interdimensional whatevers and was like, I can help you with that
kind of a thing.
and basically gave her the ability to lock this environment in a pocket dimension of her own frustration and emotional whatever.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And it's totally cathartic to her because she has control over the environment, so she changes it, fixes it around, and makes it into the way she wants, but she's frustrated that she can't change the people. And
right,
the people,
which I love that contradiction there.
And that's the beauty of humanity. You can't control other people.
And
other people are free. They're going to do what they want to do.
And if you could, that would completely ruin the point of humanity.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you don't have free will, then the stuff that they do doesn't matter, because then it's just the same as opening a drawer to a desk or something. Of course the drawer opens when you pull on
exactly.
it. That's how physics works.
That's how simple it is.
But it's when the door has when the drawer has the option of choosing, I'm not going to open or I am, then suddenly if it opens, then that's a great thing, right? In this situation, I feel like what you're saying about Akane and Rika and their relationship going back to the way things were, I like that because now that I think about it, we've had a lot of Rika sort of thinking about Akane, and doing things like getting gifts for her and stuff, but we haven't actually had a DTR between the two of them.
Yes,
because they don't really interact much, but we know that they are aware of each other's existence at the very least,
and it was convenient for them to interact with their patterns, because one of the things that they did was they would go always to this bus stop, and when that was the way they would go to school. So if you extrapolate from that as childhood friends that always went to the same bus stop, that went to school together over years and years and years and years of time, they could have been friends for so long. But because of the way everything rebooted, now maybe she forgot all that. Wait, does actually Rika have amnesia?
Rika doesn't have amnesia.
Rika doesn't have amnesia.
Right.
No.
So now the thing is that she originally didn't remember things from like kaiju attacks, I believe.
Okay. Gotcha. So because she couldn't see them, right?
Right, she couldn't see them.
Then that means she had to have been on a reboot thing with
or
the world changing.
Or at the very least a lack of awareness. Now how Rika does, or how Akane does the world reboots without directly
influencing the people's memories.
I mean, she probably is, or it's the gas stuff that makes them fall asleep or something, but theoretically you could alter someone's memories in a way that doesn't make it seem like you're altering their memories.
Right.
So maybe what it is. Okay. Now this might be a bit of a stretch, but if Akane caused Yuta to lose his memories,
right, because she was upset with him.
The reason that he is aware that he lost his memories, because if she can do all that stuff with the other people, she could make it so that no one's aware that he lost his memories. It's like nothing ever happened, whatever, and things just keep going, right?
Yeah.
Then maybe it's because she's wanting to basically test him to see if he does something different than he did before. Now that's nice. I'm more talking about the interpersonal stuff, not the Gridman stuff, because she actually did seem to wonder whether he was Gridman, which is interesting if she's the god of this universe, but or this world, but
yeah, one of the things that might be a little bit crazy here, though, and this might be a little bit, I would say, too kind of hoobity-ha, kind of confusing, is that she's a little bit out of the loop with regards to how things were in the past as well. Because there was a conflict between Gridman and something else. And that was what Yuta flashed back to. And that's probably the chief over Justice Lagan.
Right.
And there was the spear piercing another mecha-looking thing.
And we saw in the very beginning of this show, started with showing Akane looking up into the sky, and then there were the sparkles.
Yeah, right? the splitting
or
whatever.
Or stars or whatever. And there were, I believe, 4 and then 1. So that kind of matches up nicely with the...
yes, with the Neon Genesis
junior high
students.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing what it is we have basically a protector of this world, the real world.
Sure,
that's Gridman or what have you. And they keep referencing the meta thing of Ultraman or whatever in the thing there to make us be like, this is tied to the real world.
So then basically this is all some crazy episode of the series where but in like a real
meta
sense or
way,
whatever,
yeah.
where basically the bad guys won somehow or did something crazy, something big happened that changed the game, and now we're in this different scenario where
exactly.
Okay,
we're in this AU verse where either there was a neutral effect or whatever, or both the hero and the kaiju lost.
Sure.
But a human won the conflict in Akane, basically. But there was a connection established via a human, so that Gridman was the defender of this, world, and Yuta was that defender all along. So then that's why Gridman was like, "Yes, good, you." Or wait, did Gridman choose Yuta? Actually, that's a good point.
I can't remember, but this episode kind of whacked with my head, like.
Yeah,
there's like, because the thing is making like okay, in Haruhi, and this is kind of one of the things that is less rewatchable for me when I think about the show, is that once they introduced the idea of, okay, this person's God, right? There was a whole lot of exposition about all the different ramifications that come with that, and clarifications of what exactly they mean,
right,
and what they know and what they don't. And
in this show, they didn't give any
of
that.
They didn't do that here. So
I'm
just
glad.
dropping that line of saying that, yeah, this place was all created by Akane and she's essentially the god of this little mini world.
Right.
Those
are two different statements, though.
Those are two very different statements.
Yes.
Those are two very different
statements.
One
is literal, one is a bit hyperbolic.
Right. Basically just saying that this is a contained, almost like a separate universe. You know, like, and in this universe, she's God, right?
Yep.
But oh boy.
Yeah, and I like this because in a lot of ways our theories confirmed about 90% of this, but the aspect of how much control Akane has over the environment via the kaiju, though, is the thing that I think is rather interesting.
Well, and the idea that it almost seems like she doesn't actually have active control. She's just telling Chief Overjustice Lagan what to do, because if she really had active control over everything, even if she couldn't control the humans, right?
Yes.
They still need the computer to, form Gridman and all that stuff. And granted, she doesn't know about the computer, but things like that. Like, she could easily just be like, okay, stop time at one moment, wipe away all the buildings or something like that, keep everything frozen, be like, okay, cool, whatever, and do stuff to try and figure it out. Like, if you have unlimited power, you can do stuff
again. That's why she created this world.
Right.
Conflates to, so then she's God. It's not that she has complete control over every force in this mini universe here. It's that she made this universe, and that's what we would then put as enough criteria to call her a god.
Sure, so she can create things like this universe that then
like
is perpetuated,
the
and the gas that knocks people out, and the repairing the buildings and things like that, and altering memories. And this might actually be her, or it might be Chief Overjustice Lagan, and he's doing it on her behalf or whatever. But there's some point where she is a linchpin. She is super important, and Chief Overjustice Lagan needs her.
Right.
In order
in the
to
same
do
way
all
that
this.
Gridman needs Yuta.
Right. Which, oh boy.
So I love it because it's a parallel thing now. We have basically the human servants, if you will, with their magical overlord, kaiju, Ultramen big guys, who are, one, either helping them and equipping them with the ability to protect those that they care about, or corrupting, twisting, enabling for the purpose of, selfish ends and then selfless ends. It's a very classic good and evil storyline of where you have Sauron and Saruman.
Yeah.
And then you have basically all the
avatars of the good and the bad that basically do battle for the gods.
And that's like every classic good versus evil kind of fantastical storyline or whatever.
Yeah, it's great stuff. It's just ramifications.
The ramifications of it, because we are in a world where the evil, more like the twisted, the corrupted, the broken antagonist has a huge modicum of control with regards to the environment of the conflict.
And what's interesting is that in a lot of ways, like, one of the best ways that they could fight Akane is for you to just go up to Akane and be like, hey, I know you've been starting the kaiju. Mind if we talk about this? Now, that might be a bit more mature than, he's willing to do, is because, they're still in middle school, I think.
Yeah.
But like, that is theoretically how it could be solved. Now, at that point, if, maybe she would be able to just be like, oh, I don't like this, reset everything, and then, whatever.
Yeah, she freaks out. Maybe that's the other thing, is that, remember, we've only seen her in her room when she's controlling, like, specific things and stuff.
Okay.
Like, she's never done anything to influence the world outside of her room. And her room is the place of her loneliness, where all the trash bags are. It's her place of her creativity as well, all the kaiju little models and
we know that she doesn't have perfect control of this world, even from the standpoint of the memories, because, of course, it doesn't work on some of them.
Yep.
So there is that, and maybe that's a thing of like Gridman protecting them, kind of a thing, and hence why it only started happening once Yuta sort of brought them into it all, or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, that's another thing. There's a very clear power of Nakama thing that actually protects, literally, like protects Rika and Utsumi.
Yeah.
From that influence.
Ooh.
Which kind of tells us how they're going to save Akane then.
What crazy thought. What if it wasn't actually that Gridman defeated Chief Over Justice Lagan, but what if Lagan defeated Gridman?
And locked him into this environment.
Yeah, and because of that, that's why Gridman is in this limited form now. Over Justice Lagan seems to be in a limited form too, but maybe that's why, like, Yuta lost his memories or something, or I don't know, but
all right, no, let's run with that. I like that, because what it is then they're doing all this stuff because they know it will bring out Gridman.
Right, and they're trying to finish the job.
And they're trying to finish the job.
Yeah.
Now the thing is that maybe it's not just that they need to finish Gridman, but they need to, or Chief Over Justice Lagan, I love that we're calling him that. We're trying to make sure that they get everything. So they needed all the Neon Genesis Junior High students to be there as well. They needed every bit of it to be there. And it's not just that they need to fight Gridman. It's they need to find, like, the computer, for instance. They need to find the source of it.
Yeah, that's what Akane should really do at this point, since she's now, like, extra established that, like, even though it hasn't been confirmed, but judging by what people have said and haven't said, Yuta's Gridman, and she was confident enough to tell Auntie that, she should just tail them. Like, now she probably won't be able to do that because Yuta has been told that she's creating the kaiju.
Yeah. And maybe that's also something where, in some ways, the problem with Akane is that she's one person, and Chief Over Justice knows that there are these equipment people that are rather annoying.
Oh yeah. Samurai Caliber could just come by one day and destroy her cell phone so she can't contact Over Justice Lagan. And then they just, take her somewhere, and they're like, hey, so this is the situation. You know? Now, of course, he doesn't know to destroy the phone and all that stuff, but oh boy.
It's a dicey situation.
But
I like, though, that they have basically established that, one, Akane is not the final boss, obviously.
Right. Yep.
But it's that she is the final conflict in terms of this personal character story that is happening, not just with, the Gridman Alliance, but with her being somewhat even the main character in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like, this almost confirmed her, in a weird way, as one of, if not the main character of the story. Because she kind of either reacted to the whole thing happening and created the story, or she started the story. So
which is...
the things in the OP and the ED that I was bringing up.
Oh, yeah.
So
maybe that I would not be surprised if that stuff was added in there because of the amount of stuff that they explicitly told us in this episode.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just the subtitles we had just suddenly decided to turn on. I mean,
hey,
I can go and check like a fourth
that is a very
random episode before or something.
Sure, but like remember in Steins Gate how they would have the subtitles be in Japanese, and then suddenly when it was basically thematically relevant, right? And wouldn't be like too spoilery, then they do English subtitles.
Oh my gosh, you're right. There were no subtitles in the OP before.
Wow.
Whoa.
Okay.
And that can't be a
Coincidence.
coincidence
Yeah,
because
no,
it is
that's-
literally on this episode.
Yep.
So I want to bring up the
Just go through the lyrics of the
So
OP.
here's the thing. In the OP, there's
Okay.
basically this thing of awareness.
Open your eyes.
This world, our world as we know it is under attack.
Okay.
Okay,
Yep,
that's
straightforward.
basically Gridman telling Yuta
Yeah. Uh-huh.
to be aware this is
Right.
happening. In these days that seem like just a big sham,
Uh-huh.
yeah, our SOS is quickly gaining steam.
Our
So-
cry for help.
Yeah.
So the thing is that Gridman or is that Akane?
I think that's Akane because the idea of a sham, a
Uh-huh.
fake.
Oh yeah, and that's
The only person who's aware that this was a fake
was
is Akane.
Well, and also she was the one who always would like get bugged by people, and that seems like it was because of seeing an aspect of them that felt fake,
Right.
and showing her on the one side of the
Yep.
classroom, and then
right at the end of our SOS is quickly gaining steam.
Yeah.
Even though we know something is off, see, this is why I don't think it's necessarily Akane, but look, see that? That's the wallet that she was looking to buy.
Uh-huh.
Yep. We know something is off.
Today passes by against the backdrop
of the usual sky, the same sights, the kaiju. What did we promise that day? What did we talk about in the classroom?
Wow.
Yeah. At this rate, that promise might disappear too.
So that's probably
Open your eyes,
Akane
the ones
right
we know
there.
it is under attack. Yeah.
So that's probably Akane, and there was some kind of promise or something like
This
that.
is no drill.
And,
And it's no rehearsal either.
Okay.
That's amazing.
That's wonderful. like I love that at this point.
Oh, and then this is the other thing. Once the veil called daily life is ripped off, the bell to fight rings out. So why don't we form an alliance for now? And then I've come to rescue you from boredom. Now, here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
If you say that none of this is Akane.
What if it's all Yuta talking to Akane?
Yes. Yes.
And these days seem like just a big sham or something.
Oh, actually, listen to the pronouns. This is first person plural.
Mm-hmm.
So what if it's just everyone? This is our story, the kids, the
Okay.
classroom.
Sure.
What did we talk about in the classroom? This is a pair of people.
Okay. Or a group at the very least.
A group at the very least. At least two people, you know.
Mm-hmm. I love that this is no drill.
Yeah. But then once you
that's
go
wonderful.
into second person, come to rescue you from boredom, that is specifically talking about Akane. So
Right.
it lends to believe that if someone is kind of leading the OP's themes here, that it's not Akane, it's someone talking about Akane
Or
and
to Akane,
Akane.
and that's probably Yuta.
Yeah.
And hence why the main character and the main antagonist from what we've seen so far, because the thing is that usually you want there to be that parallel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Now, here's the thing. I think that the ED is Akane. Listen to this. It's all about to fall apart. The sights that I see, the blueness of the sky, all of it. The answer to the emptiness left by the sweaty season. Showing basically all these people having fun is something that nobody knows. Even if I can't remember it, surely our meeting had to be youthful. Wait, hold on. I'm skipping. All right, youthful. Somewhere, somehow, we were connected. We'll be together tomorrow, the day after, beyond that. Whether or not you're waiting for me, I'll run. If I keep my legs moving, I'll become light. Who knew this fleeting moment could be so beautiful, so cherished, filling the hole in my heart? Yeah. Like, it sounds like basically just the cry of someone that is looking for basically a friend.
Which is how Rika can come into play with this. Because...
Yeah, because I don't think it has to be a romantic thing.
Right.
I just think that there's a connection here clearly established in the ED that they either had or they will have or something that they don't have right now.
Right. And yeah. Yep.
So that's brilliant. If Trigger basically was like, yeah, we won't give them the subtitles until this episode. You'll just have to guess. If you know Japanese, then maybe you just get the money from there.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a good point, though. You know, these are primarily made for a Japanese audience, so maybe if anything,
It's just to not like draw too much attention to it.
Yes, sure. But I wonder if maybe it's a thing of where they told the distributors, because this is an anime original, don't give the subtitles for the songs until episode 6 when the big reveal is dropped.
Right.
And that way it'll build the attention towards it.
Right.
Because in a lot of ways, you can't really study the OPs and EDs too much in some anime because it's more impressionistic.
But because
and there are
it's
themes maybe in it,
but because it's impressionistic, that can, using lies to tell the truth, right? So
sure.
So there's a lot of things that you can garner, like the fact that so often when they say lines that seem like they could be talking about Akane, they'll focus on Akane in the shot, and Akane will be the only one in the shot, right?
Right.
It's like that's making it pretty clear. This could be about Akane, even if the direct ramifications of that are up in the air.
Sure.
So this was an episode.
Wow. Yeah, that was an episode. We are halfway through the show.
Yep. And I feel like this is where, like, everything before this is like, it's all part of the show, but the next half is going to be almost like a completely different show, almost, like, because oh boy.
Well, every kaiju battle now means a lot more because it's probably going to be directly through the two of them trying to talk to each other.
Yeah.
Like the idea that when these kind of kaiju battles happen, people will be like, "Hey, what's your deal? What's your
right?
What's the thing that we need to figure out? Why is this conflict happening?"
Oh boy.
And it'll mean a lot more.
Yep.
So yeah, Trigger. Yeah, you love your plot twists and you love your stuff there, and thankfully you seeded these very well, so most of them we were aware of.
But I still can't fully believe that you're going there.
And yeah, we're only halfway.
Right.
We're only halfway through the show.
Yep.
So y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction discussion right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length reactions there. And all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us about these stories. You can get involved in community events there. You can talk with us about just whatever. You can also talk with Jake about his book he just published.
Indeed, my sci-fi novel Battle Lines is still available for order on Amazon. Link is in the description below, and there are some signed copies left. So go check that out.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.